Hello, it's Alexis little boy, and I am interviewing Kerri alone for the World Collaboration Collective interview series. So, hello, Kerri.
Hi, Alexis. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks.
All right, so I wanted to dive deep today, toward my tonight, your today, into what you are doing. Now, I've been watching your journey for some time now. You're very much the self-revolution lady in my eyes. So, do you want to talk me through that a little bit of what's been happening?
As you say, you've watched sort of my journey, and it's been quite interesting. A lot of career changes along the way, but now I am, the queen of the self-love revolution, and I just really to sort of dive deep into people loving themselves, and in terms of all areas, so relationships, health, money, and to feel really like that they're enough. And even for myself, I think my journey started really with the self-love last year when I was going through a whole lot of healing, and I was working with healers, and I'd sort of come across more like the spiritual journey. And each person I went to was like, you've no self-love. And obviously, because I'd hated myself for years, I never felt like I was good enough. I felt that, I was sort of like a disappointment and a failure. And so roll on like 12 to 15 months later, my self-love has like increased like tenfold, and now I help others do the same, and I do the energy work on top of that as well. So it really goes into people's energy system and breaks down the blocks to their self-love and their self-worth.
So, how did you come across energy editing? Because I find that really fascinating. Tell me a little bit
yeah
more.
So my lovely friend Michelle O'Bridge was doing her energy work, I think in like Denise Duffield's Thomas's Lucky Bitch group, and this was like 2 years ago, and I just joined Lucky Bitch, and I came across Michelle because I watched a video of hers, and I had like accent envy, and I was like, oh my god, I love her. And she was like listening to me thinking, oh my god, I love her accent. So we bonded over our accents, and then she sort of had a baby, and she was like, came back out of doing her kinesiology, and she was like, oh, I have this new thing to test, and I sort of was like, oh my god, that's so cool. So then I joined her prosperity prescription group, and so over the last 2 years I've done that with her, and then I've also worked with her one-to-one last year, because my default setting is the achiever. So I always want to achieve more and more and more. Like I trained as a barrister, I was in law. It was always like education. You sort of had to really, get the highest grades and do the most work and, work hard and things. But then when I came across Michelle, she was a bit like, that's not the way it works anymore, So her program there this time last year was to do with getting from the achiever, which couldn't really earn that much money, to radiating brilliance, which was all about sharing your light and being like a lighthouse, and just letting people come to you and attracting the people that you really want to work with. Over the last 2 years, a bit more now that I've actually done the energy work. In June I decided to sign up, fly to Manchester and train in it with a bunch of other girls. And I was probably freaking out thinking, oh my god, like I can't learn this or whatever. And then I was like, oh my god, this is such a simple but powerful technique to help people, because it's helped me so much, and I am very much a person that is like, you have to find what works for you. And that's the same with eating food and stuff. Like you have to find what works for you.
Yeah.
Because it's not a one size fits all approach. But I could see how it helped a lot of people. And even myself, I was like, okay, sign up, and did the training, and then I finished my client hours. And I've been working with people more on a deeper level in their terms of their trauma and their subconscious mind. We can thank Michelle for getting me involved.
She was a lovely piece of that puzzle, wasn't she?
Yeah, I know. And it's funny too, because sometimes like the way I've connected with you too, like Alexis, like you connect with people that are on a journey that may have had similar experiences or different circumstances, but are all sort of working together, you know, to improve their lives and to feel better about themselves and to learn something which is going to, you know, catapult you from where you've been to where you want to be. I think that's like the bridge and the gap between, you know, where I was and where I am now. I mean, sometimes like the 2 years, sometimes you think is a long time, but it actually sort of flies in, you know, when you're going, oh my God, it's already December now, you know. So yeah, definitely, like, it was really great to meet her and also a lot of people along the way to get here.
Yeah, and with the energy editing, that really helps. Because as you were just explaining with the self-love, and the more that you have, the more you can share. And the more that you can share, the more that ripples out. And it's that beautiful cascading kind of effect and rippling out into the world. And before you know it, everybody's, you know, looking after themselves, you know, nurturing themselves and coming from a place of love, then the whole world changes, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's why, you know, a lot of people think, you know, oh, loving myself is actually a selfish act. You know, sometimes I hear it be like, oh, you know, she loves herself, you know, and it's a bad thing. But actually loving yourself deep down completely means that you can give more love to others. Because like now that I tell my friends like, oh, I love you, I can say that because I actually love myself. And it's not a like, oh, love you, you know, but it's actually like I really do, because I love myself enough to know that, you know, I love you as well. And it's funny too, because like when you don't love yourself, it's very hard to give love to other people. Like in relationships, you know, in the world, because you have all these different factors going on, and the energy work really digs deep into that like subconscious mind, where you've got all these like childhood beliefs. You've, you know, even from the womb, you've taken on other people's beliefs and stuff about yourself, like maybe rejection or abandonment or unloved, and then through life you repeat them. And so sometimes when you're doing the energy work and your muscle tests and define those blocks in the energy system, then people understand why they don't love themselves or why they hate themselves, and it's because it's been so blocked down and trapped. Then it needs to be released. Like, it's so very hard to pinpoint it, you know, consciously. You know, sometimes against I hate my body, but where did that begin? Like, where did that start in your body? And so like the energy work then does create that ripple effect, because once you've started loving yourself and you have more self-worth, you can help more people, because you're not afraid to like shine your light. You're not afraid to do a Facebook Live or, you know, do a video or to offer somebody help, because you're not worried about what they think either. And I think that was my thing as well too, that sometimes I felt like I didn't want to impose on people, or I didn't want to be a burden, and then I realized that actually the more self-love I give myself, the more other people I can help and that are struggling like me. And it's also a good way, you know, to have gone through that, to say, okay, I'm here now and I can help others with my journey too.
There's a lot in that, because if you took away love, and because there's a saying like all there is love, really. If you take that away, we're all living out of ego, and ego controls, you know, that's where everything sits, and we're on autopilot, really, aren't we? And that's where we live out of the beliefs and the programming. Are you getting that?
Yeah.
Sorry, there was some background noise.
Not the noise, no. Not the. Can you hear me? I'm just hearing.
It sounded like someone was talking. I'll edit this later. I have no idea what I was talking about now.
No, but you were talking about the ego, you know, having ego, and that's the thing we do, because we're so constantly living in this fear mode. We fear the future, we fear what's going to happen, we fear the past, we fear that things are going to repeat. I mean, a few of my clients just live and thrive on fear, because that's the way they've been brought up. So their energy system is like this constant fear, like this, you know, flight or fight risk, you know, that mode before like something stresses them out, triggers them.
Yeah.
And like I have this for me too. You're always constantly on high alert. And, even for myself, like I've had to realize that actually, when you're in that stage, you're like that adrenaline, you're going far too high, and then you come crashing down and you're like way lower than what needs to happen. So it's like, obviously there's going to be challenges, there's going to be losses, there's going to be maybe bereavement or, breakups or whatever. But then you're more like this. It's not really high and then crashing down. But I think as well too, like we are just into social media, like technology, the news, the media, like, and everything like that perpetuates the cycle of fears. And so like there are a lot of people in this world doing really good and, shining their light and telling people that, don't give in to the fears. But there's like 8 billion people in the world. So you really need to like completely keep changing that to go to the love, to compassion, to kindness. Because if we can help even just one person, that's more than, just not helping anybody at all,
It's like you were talking earlier about the 100th monkey.
Yeah.
If we get a certain amount of people on the planet to a certain level of I don't know, personally, it's not even enlightenment I'd be thinking about, but more of like getting to a point where there is that much, they have the confidence, they have the self-esteem, they have the self-love, and that particular energy is going to act like the lighthouse and shine the light on these other people. And if you're thinking about the 100th monkey, then it's that ripple effect as well. And it's not like you have to touch every single person individually. All you need to do is shine your light.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing, like people will be attracted to you because you are doing that, and it's that thing of like, because I had a reading from somebody recently and she was like, just all you need to do is help one person. And I was like, oh yeah, and it's not even that, like people are just attracted to you anyway because you are showing that side, that the more love and the more compassion and the feeling that that you can do anything, that there's like sort of thing where if you become aware too, I think because we're on this journey for a while, when we become aware of what other people say, it's really interesting because it's so easy to pick up on what on what you're saying as well, so sometimes I hear people here complaining or saying like everything's a nightmare or there's some drama, and it's like a vicious cycle because people don't know how good it is to feel and feel like we have to, if something like is going really well and we're really happy and everything's going great, but suddenly our energy system in our body is like, oh, actually, no, we'll snap you back to, thinking this is too good to be true or whatever. And it'll come back crashing down. And so you think, all right, well, fine, it's okay. Give up.
And that reinforces that belief.
Yeah, exactly. So as you say, like, just even spreading your message or sharing, to help people, or if they come to you, that it's not, you're just being more aware of how you show up in the world too, and what you say, and being more like conscious of even being around your friends or whatever, that even if they're feeling in that drama mode or something's going on and you catch yourself getting into that, then you go take a step back and you're like an observer and you go, okay, no, I am not going to get into this. I'm not going to get into the drama because it's keeping me in that cycle.
It's also like particular phrases that you say all the time and you're not particularly conscious, and then it gets picked up and reflected back at you. My thing this week was, or recently anyway, was hold on. My favorite thing to say is I'll say to the kids want something, I'm like, hold on. I'm literally saying hold on to everything. My body, everything, holding on to emotion, holding on to whatever it is, So until you have that awareness, and then every time I've been saying it, I'll be like, there it is again. I'm not judging myself, but I'm like, yep, hello again.
Yeah, that's so good though that you don't judge yourself, because then a lot of people do. They think, oh my God, you know, I've got it back into this cycle again. And it's like, no, but you're just becoming aware of it, so that when you do say it, it's going, okay, I can change this. I can make a choice to change this, and I'll not say it again, you know. Or you change your like affirmations, you know, that it's more in the now, like I am, you know, because even for me too, you know, I kept saying, sometimes, you know, even in business, I was like, you know, you want to attract, or I need certain clients, but it was more like I attract clients instead of thinking, you know, that need. It's like we need something. It's like a desperation sort of thing. Where it was like, actually, no, I'm like, no, I'm attracting clients that are aligned with me, that are on the same page, that want to change, you know. And so it's just like, it's just even a conscious switch, because subconsciously in our minds, we've said it all the time. And it's that just becoming more aware. And as well too, it's because you picked up your beliefs from your parents and different, you know, different society and, you know, different things. So obviously, you know, it might sometimes take a while to go, okay, I've stopped that completely. But it is amazing though, when you find the words that are sort of holding you back, and then you go, okay, now I know how to change this, so that I'm not, you know, blocking out amazing opportunities from the universe, or I'm not blocking out receiving something good because I'm saying hold on, or, you know, wait, you know what I mean? Because you're literally just like stopping it. So that's
hold on, I'm not ready yet. That's what it's saying. And then you've got this feeling of never being ready, because you're always holding on, and it goes round in circles.
Yeah, so true.
Lots of fun.
Well done for that.
So part of the self-love revolution, what's your self-care rituals or routine, or just little practices that you include in your day or week?
Yeah, so there are a lot of things now. It's funny too, because at the moment, even with meditation too, that's a big part that I want to get, you know, fully back into every day. I think sometimes I get out of consistency, and then it's knowing, okay, right, come back, you know, even grounding myself, going out in nature, or going a walk at the beach, you know, going in water. Like even with the Epsom salts, I put my feet into the Epsom salts and a foot bath, and let, you know, even when I'm doing energy work, so that I'm releasing all this from my energy system, and releasing everything that wants to be, and then it comes out of your feet, rather than sort of in a bath where it would go back in. I'm doing yoga at the moment. I'm also doing more exercise. I'm eating quite healthily for me. So even though I teach, like, you know, and do the energy work on health, I don't really tell people what to eat, because I find that once you make the switch to listening to your body and the wisdom your body gives you, it will tell you what you want to eat and what is good for you. So at the moment, you know, I'm not drinking alcohol, because I'm getting really amazing downloads, and alcohol was sort of fogging my mind up a bit. Sugar and things like that, I was like, a few weeks ago I had like candida, and it was just, and dairy was affecting. So my body is like, okay, enough, Kerri, like you don't need to eat it. So, you know, that's the thing where I'm going, right, so what can you incorporate during the day? Dry body brushing. I have crystals, my rose quartz and amethyst, my aquamarine for my throat. I also use some sprays from amazing girl Amanda Ellis, and they're like, you know, for your solar plexus and for your heart, and it's just like to spray on for your aura, and just to release all that energy. She deals with Archangel Metatron. So it's actually been quite good for me, because I've been using them the last couple of weeks. I'll just show you a quick bottle, but it's like sort of like that there sort of spray, and it's amazing. But I just spray it, but it comes like all these messages and like divine downloads. And so there are some of the things, but also as well, getting proper sleep. So all my life I've been sort of a night owl, and now I'm retraining my body and mind to actually go to sleep earlier and to get up earlier. And it's really making a difference to how I feel during the day. And, you know, and also not sitting on a laptop 24 hours a day, you know, getting out, like going to my Reiki or doing my energy editing. Then, you know, maybe meeting up for a friend, or, doing something that sort of, you do the work, you're more productive in the hours and you set your time. And then you go, okay, I'm doing something for myself. I'm going out, I'm getting out of the house, I'm going for a walk. Maybe you just sit in silence for like 5 minutes and you get a bit of peace and quiet. Because our lives are so busy as well. So, but there are some of the things for self-care. And, also just really feeling, being careful as well about what I say to myself. Am I criticizing myself? If I don't get something done, am I beating myself up? So, like, for example, the other night, I was really struggling to find out how to embed a video on YouTube, or, from YouTube to my website. And I'd sort of just forgotten, because I think it was a test for me to be going, right, why are you beating yourself up for this? Or are you going to ask for help? And so then I ended up asking for help, and a lot of people were, I actually did it in the end. But then afterwards I was like asking for help, going, okay, now I need to set time for myself to do my work, to do my client work, but also to maybe get a VA involved, so that things that could be done like in half the time are delegated out to somebody else. Because my self-care, it's sort of like, going into my self-care, and I'm maybe staying up a bit later to try and figure this out, or I'm getting frustrated with myself, whereas I could have given it to somebody else. They would have done it perfectly great, fine, not my zone of genius, and it would have had more time to heal, or, do what I want. Those are some of the other things. But is there anything really, like, that you would want to ask me about in terms of self-care?
No, that pretty much explained it. I just wanted to hear from you what you were wanting, like what you do, and that's perfect. There's literally so much that you can do. I think sometimes we feel like we don't have enough time, or that there's different priorities, and I think that's what the biggest advice for me, even, that I was given, and then for other people, is that to put yourself first. Even with your kids or a partner or your home or whatever, family. Actually, you can't help other people if you don't help yourself. Like, I always use that analogy about you're on the plane and you're told to put on your oxygen mask first, and if you don't, how can you help other people? And that's really what I've been learning the last few weeks, especially, was that I am no good to anybody if I can't look after myself. And so even like one thing a day is more beneficial for me than nothing at all, or lots of things. Just one thing a day that I sort of make sure that I do. And during the year, like, I've had sort of, like, I've done different like things for myself, like a 90-day self-love challenge transformation for myself. I've also, the last few weeks, started to learn how to be more resting and healing, instead of do all the time. And that's been a big challenge for me, because I'm constantly like wanting to do something. But the last few weeks, I have definitely seen such a difference in how I feel by letting myself just be more in that feminine side, and be more relaxed, and letting people do things for me, or letting to receive things, or to take a nice Epsom salt foot bath, and not like think, oh God, I have to get back to work, or do something like that. So things like that are just quite like important for me to put into my daily routine. I find I multitask. even when foot bath, at the computer doing work, maybe having a meditation playing in the background. I'm like, yes, I've got self-care down.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's amazing how we do that. I actually watched a video this morning on how our brains receive more information than men's brains, right? So we're constantly like multitasking, or trying to get all this work done. But instead of sort of thinking, well, a man really only focuses on one thing at a time. They really do. They just go, right, I'm doing this, and then once that's done, that's it. But we're so constantly like, oh, I need to do the work, and I'll have the meditation on, and I'll have the Epsom salt foot bath, instead of being like, no, at one thing at a time. You know, take one thing at a time, do the Epsom salt foot bath, not even on your phone or anything, you know, for the 20 minutes, and just go, oh. And it does feel, I think, so different as well too, because you just give yourself the permission then to feel that you can give yourself that quality time, instead of feeling like,
is huge, especially like when you start to go back into I'm making myself a priority today. And it's something that you need to choose every day. It's because it's not instinctual. It's really, you know, not everyone, but a lot of us tend to want to look after everybody else. So our priority is looking after everybody else. So when we bring it back and we do the priority as us, well, you go, hang on a sec, how am I supposed to sit here and do nothing but sit here? Like, it's almost like mind blowing, because your brain's like, what are we doing? And it almost short circuits, because it go, no, we're meant to be doing this and this and this and this. And I think it takes a lot of practice, or it takes me a lot of practice, to go, no, actually, I'm just going to, and I'm still working on that. So anyway.
Always a work in progress. I mean, even last night, there was like 3 or 4 different things that I was like, I really want to do, but I was going, no, focus on one thing, because I can see myself getting that, like, that stressy feeling. You know, you're like, oh my God, I'm already like sort of stressing out about this. When it's like, why are you stressed? Like, what are you stressing for? It's one thing. Like, you know, just do one thing at a time. But it is, our minds are, you just having to retrain that belief, and to do the energy work, and to feel that, just that switch of the mindset, to know that you don't have to care for everybody else all the time, that you can, you know, give yourself that time to say, right, for me today, I'm taking this 20 minutes out, and this is part of my day, you know, to do it, you know. And I think sometimes it's like, even the baby steps are like the most key, because you just go, right, maybe I can't do the 20 minutes now, but I'll do maybe 5 minutes, and like build it up, and then it becomes like a natural habit. You know, that every day you go, okay, you know, right, this is what happened last night. Okay, I was doing too much. I really want to switch off and only give myself that amount of time to do one thing. You know, like, even like, you know, being productive. Sometimes I think sitting in front of a computer, like, I found recently that sitting in front of the laptop all day, you do nothing. Whereas if you just set a timer for, say, an hour, and go, right, I'm getting this done, this is the only task I have to focus on, you get it done. But I think sometimes it's just that overwhelm, like we feel like we have too much, so it's like we do nothing, then we just go, I'll give up, I can't do this, you know. So yeah, I definitely completely understand where you're coming from as well.
I think when overwhelm kicks in, it is almost like a paralysis. You freeze, because there is so much, and you can see how much you need to do, or your brain is like, I need to get all this done. I literally stop. I'm like, I got to do this, this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. I can't move. All my body will come up with a like a pain or something to physically stop me from doing anything, because it's like, no, you're not doing that. So I think overwhelm's pretty powerful, except when we have that awareness, we can actually then go into, okay, well, what can I do to move out of that space? Because I don't like that. So what would you do if you're feeling overwhelmed? What's your go-to tool?
Yeah, that's the thing. When I think I have too much to do, I'm like, oh my God, overwhelmed, stressing out. So what I realized recently is that if somebody else can do it as well, they get that job. So because I'm organizing my wedding, I was like completely like, oh my God, you know, right, this is like all down to me. And then I was like, no, actually, Matt is part of, it's like our wedding, you know what I mean? So right, you can send that email, or because we have a house rented out, I was always the one doing like the emailing and things like that. And I was going, no, actually, you do it. Because I think as well too, when people have a business or, part-time jobs or work or whatever, you sort of feel like, oh, maybe your husband or your partner or whoever, they're out at work or they're doing something else, but you're also working too, and you're doing a lot more. And I think sometimes, like, when you're really struggling, you need to ask for help, because that was my thing as well. Like, I'd only ask for help in distress. So it had to get really, really bad for me to ask for help. And now I've actually realized that, no, I don't want to get to that level again before I ask for help.
Yeah.
If I'm really struggling with somebody, I'll send somebody a message and ask them for help, or say, okay, right, I'm doing certain things on the laptop or whatever. It's literally the priority one that gets done. The one, like, is maybe the urgent one or the most important one.
Yeah.
And then get done. And I also am learning now to say no to things, or to, like, if somebody wants to meet up or do something, I'm going, well, actually, that doesn't really fit in, because I have this, I've a call or I've a client call, and then I've got maybe something else, and you're sort of thinking, actually, tomorrow might be better. And it's just learning that their process of saying, no, I can't go, without, like, justifying and explaining yourself and thinking, oh my God, really sorry, like, I can't go. It's like, no, because you over apologize then, and you think, oh my God, I can't do it.
Yeah.
You feel bad. So I think it's just, removing those worries about what everybody else thinks as well too, and thinking that if I have these 3 things to do, that's it. That's all I'm getting done today. Whereas if you have a really long list, you sort of go, oh, like, I haven't done anything. Oh my God, right, too bad, nothing's getting done.
Yeah.
But it's like that thing of, right, I've got 3 things. What is the most important here? 1, 2, 3, right, the rest can wait. Because usually things can wait. I think sometimes for me it was like, I have to feel like I have to do everything now all at once.
Yeah.
And the universe and probably whatever is like looking down and going, no, you do what you need to do in that day, and whatever's done is great, done, move on. Because otherwise I think it just create this, like, perpetual cycle in your mind and head of, like, oh my God, you didn't get everything done, oh, who are you, like, you're a failure, or, you know what I mean? Whereas actually just like, well, if you talk to many people, they all struggle. So yeah, quite interesting.
All right, well, are there any other further tips for those that are looking to start on their or continue their self-love journey?
Well, the one thing I would say is to look and see, what have you been through, and to see whether, if you've been through trauma, and a trauma can mean anything, like a car accident, it can mean divorce, it can mean a breakup, it can mean a loss, a bereavement, or bullying at school, and just to see where that, maybe that self-love consciously, you feel like you haven't got it, or you feel like, oh, where have I sort of started to hate myself or not love who I am? Or where is it showing up in my life? Is it showing up in my relationships? Is it showing up in my health? Is it showing up in my business? Am I, afraid to be visible or seen? And then to sort of look at what you can do in the meantime. Is there energy work that you can do? Is there healing that you can go through? Can you take action on just one step, like a baby step? Can you maybe, like, increase your self-care or do something nice for yourself? Can you become more aware of where you're judging yourself or criticizing yourself, or beating yourself up because you don't feel like you're enough? And sort of those things are, like, good starting points, and then you can see whether, right, okay, do I need to get more healing for this? Is it not really improving? Do I need to do a bit more deeper inner work? Do I need to invest the money, time, and energy to do this so that I can improve my life? And then it's really just the fact that, sort of taking each day as it comes, to sort of being a bit more mindful of the now, instead of worrying about the past and what's happened before, and of the future. I think that's been my thing too, where I was so caught up in my past, and then also I really couldn't see the future, that I was forgetting about what was actually happening in the meantime now that I could do. One even simple small act of kindness for myself.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's really getting that support system, and you know, if you don't get that from family, find it from somewhere else, because on this journey, self-love journey, you need really other people around you to help you and to, you know, come into your life so that you can really, you know, create this like self-love process. So yeah, that's really my tips. But you know, it is a journey, and not to beat yourself up for it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen overnight, but it will eventually over time.
Yeah. So. Beautiful. Well, thank you very much for coming on board. It's been an absolute pleasure. So thanks everyone for watching. You've been watching Kerri Orlane and Alexis Littleway. See you later.
Bye.